to today's meditation time. It is truly an honor each time that we show up together, each time we show up individually. And I hope that as you settle in physically to the spot where you are, you also can feel what an honor it is. It's not an inconvenience when that alarm or that little nudge goes off and says, meditation. It truly is this beautiful reminder that this is your time. This is the time that you have designated to pause, to let the doing just subside a little and practice being. It truly is an honor. And as you're settling into your spot where you are, getting comfortable physically in your body, allowing those eyes to gently close, and then just start to notice the breath that you've arrived with in this moment. How it feels, where it's kind of sitting in the belly and the chest and the ribs. Just kind of notice. And let that breath, as it is now, without changing it, let it just inform you about your day, about the last few hours, few moments. Not as a point of judgment or criticism, but just to give you the sense of pure awareness. This is how my day was. This is how my breath has responded. And this is how I have shown up. And see if you can just accept the fact that that is good. However you have shown up, it is good. We're going to return to one of our most basic texts when it comes to our yoga, our meditation, our breath practice. And it's the Yoga Sutras. The Yoga Sutras are these statements, these aphorisms that instruct us about yoga. They're simple, but they're so powerful. And I think the most important one is the second of all these Yoga Sutras that we have. It says, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. These 4 simple Sanskrit words. But what they do is they offer an assurance of what happens when we show up. What happens when we accept that how we are in this present moment is good. We bring it all. The tiredness, the scattered thoughts, the fatigue, the heartache. But Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha says, yoga, this practice, this breath, this meditation, this mindfulness, this movement, all these parts will calm the fluctuations in our mind. And we don't show up here to try to get the experience of that. The experience of that just makes its way here. It doesn't mean we come to turn our minds off and to tell it to stop. But we use this practice to truly practice calming the agitations of our mind. There's so many ways that I've heard that translated. People often talk about yoga stills the waves of my thoughts. Yoga quiets the disturbances in my mind. And whatever words you choose, the effect is the same. There is a quieting, a stilling, a calming that comes from this practice. And I think that it's so intentional that when Patanjali wrote these words, he didn't just say, yoga stills the fluctuations. He went one step further and added the word in our mind, in our thoughts. Because even 2,500 years ago, he knew that's where we're going to struggle the most. He had distractions back then, just as we have them now. But his assurance is this practice will give us the tools to walk this path of stilling and quieting and easing these disturbances. And I know that we can sit here, we can lie here, wherever you've found yourself, these moments that we have. We can catch a glimpse of that because we've closed the door to the bedroom, or we've turned off the lights, or we've put our phone on Do Not Disturb. We've got all the things so that right here, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, there's a calming, a stilling, an easing of these disturbances. But then we get up, then we go to work, we go have a conversation with our spouse, we read an email, we open our briefcase and get busy with the work we've brought home, we deal with our children and all the things that they're experiencing, and the list goes on and on. So what happens to that quieting, that stilling, that calming? Well, I think Patanjali knew we were going to struggle. We were going to show up for these practices, and it was going to work for the most part. But then we'd get back to living the life, doing the things. And then what? And so just a few verses later in these sutras, he gives us another one. He pauses with new instructions, and he says, basically, if you want to get that back, here's a way. And so before I share with you those words, I would invite us each just to kind of notice how we feel right now. From how we showed up just moments ago to how you feel now. Do you notice more rest coming into your physical body? Do you notice just a little bit of quiet in your mind? A little less rambunctiousness in your emotions? Do you notice it? And then I think it's a rhetorical question of, and do we want to hang on to that? The answer is yes. We want this practice to inform and guide and direct all the noisy moments once we leave. So in Yoga Sutra 134, he says, Vidarana, Prachadana, Pranasya. And this is where he gives us this beautiful reminder. He says, if you want the calm retained, do it with the exhalation of the breath. If you want the calm retained, do it with the exhalation of the breath. We use the breath for so many things. It's not just the oxygen and the gas exchange. It is this life-giving force, and often we spend a lot of time thinking about the inhale. It fills us up, it nourishes us, it makes us just feel like we are full of life. But Patanjali said 2,500 years ago, if you want to maintain the calm, you do it with the exhalation. And so I thought today, in these moments that we have, we could practice Samavriti, this balanced way of breathing, so that our exhale gets just as much attention as our inhale. And there's no magic number or cadence for Samavriti, this balanced breath. The magic in it is just that it's balanced. However long it takes you to breathe in, through control, you take just as long to breathe out. I love starting a yoga class with Samavriti without even saying that's what we're doing, because as we lift the arms overhead, we guide students to draw the hands down at the same rate as they lifted. And they don't even realize that we're bringing them back into balance. And it's the most beautiful thing to witness. Shoulders relax, forehead soften, jaws loosen. worry begins to dissipate. So let's practice this thing that Patanjali told us is the key. Let's focus on the exhale just as much as we focus on the inhale. So if you're seated, let's sit really tall. If you're lying down, just stretch out really long so you can feel the ribs moving. And let's try to find a rhythm and a cadence that honors this exhale. So let's inhale together. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And as you continue to breathe, we'll practice again in just a second, but I want you to notice if it was easy or if it was difficult to control that exhale. Human nature, we want to just get it all out quickly. We just want to exhale. But he told us 2,500 years ago, this practice will calm the fluctuations of your mind, and your exhalation will allow you to maintain that calm. I think the secret is in the exhale. We don't rush it. We ease it out with gentle, compassionate control, the same way we brought it in. So let's try it again. Nice and slowly. Here we go. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And now let's just pause. See if as you maintain your cadence, 4 doesn't have to be the number. See if you can focus on the exhalation as much as you're giving attention to the inhalation. And once you find the cadence that feels right, and I'll grow quiet in just a second, begin to notice what's happening in your mind. Yoga calms the fluctuations of my thoughts. It quiets the disturbances in my head. It stills the waves of my thoughts. And I know that to maintain that calm, it comes through this gentle control of my exhale. So let's just be in this moment, noticing, breathing. And as you continue to gently breathe in and out, I would invite you to imagine, I often do this, that as soon as your meditation practice is over, imagine you get in your car and you head out into the high traffic part of wherever it is that you typically go. And when you get up from your meditation practice and you head into something like traffic, there's your chance to practice. You do it intentionally. You imagine I'm here and there's red brake lights ahead of me and things are moving slowly and drivers are not being very considerate. How do I maintain this calm in my mind? It's a beautiful place to practice, whether it's pretending in your head that you're behind the wheel or actually being there. And then you'll notice that when you practice it more and more in those kind of ways, the next time that someone at work or someone in your family or someone in an email or on a phone call says something that isn't very kind, maybe even hurtful, something inside of you will go to the default of, I'll maintain this calm through my exhale. And you won't just breathe deeply, you'll breathe with intention and with gentle control. And that bad behavior or that unkind word won't seem as big. And its impact on you will be so much smaller than it would have been otherwise. Yoga calms the fluctuations of our mind. This is yoga right here that we're doing. And then when we rise up, the way we maintain this calm is through a gentle control of each and every exhalation. We don't take our cushion with us. We don't take our spot in our room where we are, but we do take our breath. Let's practice it. I practice calming the fluctuations of my mind and maintaining that calm through everything that life throws my way. Namaste.